Alright, hey everybody, it's another installment of Eye of a Samurai with your friend Jay. We're gonna break down some gameplay. This time is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be me against a friend of mine in an extended set, meaning more than one. This will be 5 matches. I don't remember who technically wins more than the other one, but that doesn't really matter. So, like I said, this time it's going to be against a friend of mine, an Astaroth player from New Jersey named Annuity. Some of you may know who he is, especially if you've been in the Soul Calibur community for a long time. If you're new to Soul Calibur 5, you might not know who he is, because he's really only been to 2 or 3 tournaments since SE5. Now, I started playing Soul Calibur competitively in SE4. Annuity has been a competitive Soul Calibur player since the dawn of mankind. And so he's been playing for a very, very long time, and I find his style, especially his defense, to be particularly unique. This is going to be Astaroth versus Mitsurugi. Now, if you don't know, Mitsurugi versus Astaroth, it's one of the worst matchups in the entire game. Close up there with Cervantes versus Vi, and for similar reasons. Both Mitsurugi and Cervantes have these really powerful tools, and the one weakness that they have is that they're unsafe. But Zwei and Astaroth, respectively, they can't really punish these types of things. 2KB, there's not really a lot of punishing going on with Astaroth, significantly less than virtually any other character in the game. So you're going to see me taking a lot of risks. Not just more 2KBs than you might be used to when you play against me, but also 6-6BB, full crouch 1B might see its way into some of these matches because that combos against Astaroth on normal hit. He's just a big guy and he has a really difficult time dealing with these types of moves. That being said, Astaroth is a very difficult character to put into matchups and to put on paper, because if you look at Astaroth on paper, he's basically the worst character in the entire game. If you really look at it. He has virtually no punishment on block or on whiff he does to a certain extent. His mix-ups are mids and grabs. He's very slow. The one thing he has is damage. So, and he also has to grab. A lot of grabs have to go on. And it's important to know, for anybody who thinks that grabs are cheap, do not forget that in order for a grab to be pulled off, you have to guess right on your opponent twice. Twice for every 1 grab. First time because grabs can be ducked, and so he didn't duck, but even when the grab connects, he can then break if he guesses correctly. So, you know, it's very difficult to play this type of character, and I think Annuity plays Astaroth in the way that you're supposed to, which is balls to the wall. He doesn't let anything go. He doesn't give you any kind of low pokes. He makes sure to make a bet out of everything in terms of hard reads. And hopefully I'll be able to show that. So essentially, he's taking really high risks as well. Except mine are much less risky, I would say. I apologize. This was not his costume, but I don't believe I have the content available. So right off, I'm going to start with a gambit that I do against a few characters. You see it working there. I do 2-3-6A right at the start of a game on any character that has a huge move that really catches movement that's a high. So Astaroth is one with 6A, because a lot of Astaroths like to start it off like that. Ivy would be another one. Siegfried and Nightmare with AGA. It's a big risk, but in order for it to really be a big risk, my opponent has to just start off with a mid-launcher, which not a lot of people do. And so I'm just going to be pressing my advantage as much as possible. You see me doing 6-6BB there. I'm just guarding stuff, but it's not really getting me anywhere. Same with him. We're just doing safe moves on just guard. Blocks my 2KB. That's the most punishment that he's going to get. And I want to go back to the very end of that first round. You're going to see this is going to be a situation that happened a lot. So right here, he has me in a quote-unquote standing reset, and he has frame advantage, right? And this mix-up here, this little weight here, is the majority of the situations you're going to find in this matchup, at least the same with, like, if you just get hit by Bull Rush, or if you just get hit by 4B, Astaroth 4B, that is. So in this situation, what does Astaroth want to do? He wants to grab, right? So how do I beat that, other than just ducking and potentially getting hit by a mid? Well, I have 4B. Mitsu 4B destroys that idea. It also destroys things like 3K and a variety of other 4B, all these types of ideas. So what does Astaroth do if he thinks that Mitsurugi is going to do 4B? Does he have an option that beats it? Well, he has Bull Rush, and even more importantly, he has fully charged Bull Rush, which is about as big of a punishment as you can ask for. So if I think he's going to do that, if I think he's just going to do a regular Bull Rush, then I have Just Guard. Bull Rush on Just Guard is really bad. In fact, a lot of Astaroth moves are bad on Just Guard. They kind of rely on the block stun in order to be really good. But I get a full 3B punish. So that's the rock, paper, scissors of this situation. It's am I going to 4B or Just Guard? Am I going to mash? Is he going to mash, do Bull Rush, or grab? Those are the three options that both of us are cycling through. And as you can see here, I kind of jitter about. So I attempted a Just Guard, but I was wrong, and I end up winning with the 2KB anyway. So right here he does 6B because I did 236A the last time. At least that's what I'm guessing. I'm trying to delay my wake-up stuff because he's statue blocking Mitsurugi, which is normally not something that people are supposed to do, but then he blocks a 2KB, and his defense has just been incredible this entire set. This is another situation that you're going to find a lot, where he whiffs a 4-4B when I'm on the ground, and he charges up a Bull Rush. Now, what I could have done there is done a 6-6 BB, because if he tried to fully charge the Bull Rush, then I would have just hit him right out of it. So you saw how he went for the charge, but then he immediately stopped it because I was running up to him, and then I just decided to block. If I was a bit better, I probably would have tried to Just Guard. See, there you have the situation again. He has a propensity of waking up, which sometimes I catch, sometimes I don't. And you see me trying to delay it, but my mix-ups just aren't strong enough. I'll admit one thing that I forgot to say at the top of the video, but I'm hoping that for the rest of the video series it's going to be extended sets like this, where I'm going to be talking about a first to 5, or maybe not a first to 5, but a best of 5, rather than just one game. And I want to get the very beginning of the set to the very end of the set, so you can kind of see the evolution of like where you start off in the beginning of something and going all the way to the end. And you can see the layers of Yomi that you might not be able to see if you only see one match. Unfortunately for this, these just happen to be the 5 matches that I happened to record. I think the set that I had with Annuity, 50 matches all at the same time, which is very rare for me. I tend to lose patience on online games very quickly. So, unfortunately, Yomi layers are already going through both of our heads. This isn't the first game that we played. But I think you can see at least, I think I'm going to be able to at least demonstrate a handful of things. And during those sets, I just found that he was statue blocking Mitsurugi with such success. It's very rare that I happen to find that to be the case. And I'm getting kind of frustrated with 6-6 BB, probably because I was frustrated that I lost that round. And then I broke B, or I didn't break B, and that's about as big of a mistake as you can do against Astaroth. As you saw, I basically lose the round entirely for that. He puts me in another reset, break a grab, break another grab, but he's very obstinate. And I could have mashed, but as you can see here, he has me in this, on every grab break, he has me in this situation where I don't really feel comfortable because, I don't know, I mean, he has the meter for Brave Edge Bull Rush, and that kind of worries me. I don't really feel comfortable with where I am at the standing reset. If anything, you could argue that maybe I should have broken later and gotten on the ground and at least changed it up a little bit, maybe eaten a 2A, that would have, happened, and then I would have been able to get up at a slight amount of frame disadvantage and just tried to go ham with the meter advantage that I have. This is something that I don't think I was thinking during the match, but it's something to think about for later matches. But yeah, I just didn't mash because I was just too scared of the Bull Rush. Bull Rush loses to lows. And I'm getting hit by that, I'm not really sure why. And I'm pressing buttons on Wake Up a lot. And as you can see there, this is what I'm talking about when I say that he doesn't leave anything unchecked. He uses things like Jump B, which is a fairly awkward move, just to like beat stuff like 1K after he loses off on the Bull Rush. There's a lot of Astaroth players that would just let it go, but he really doesn't. So everything is a guess, and he tries to replay High Octane, which I just really wasn't expecting. and he beats me on that mix-up there. So I lose the first game that I'm going to play here, and now we have the second one on the raft, which I'm not particularly excited about, because Astaroth does have ring-out potential, whereas at least my version of Mitsurugi really doesn't. So what I've decided to do here is try to go, instead of for mix-ups, because they're not really working, just going with like safe moves. I'm not really sure why he didn't break A there, but as you can see there, I was just using ring control, used a lot of lows so that I could then do 6A. The reason I'm bringing that up is because one of the only weaknesses that Mitsurugi has in this matchup, I tend to always talk about the mid-range poking game that Mitsurugi has, which is the best poking game of any character on the roster. It's difficult to do it against Astaroth, though, because a lot of the options that you have are things like 4A, 6B8, they're all high, which is particularly difficult against Astaroth because he has a large forward motion tech crouch in Bull Rush. And so I'm particularly scared. I'm more scared than most people are about Astaroth Bull Rush in this matchup. So I try to pepper in a lot of lows, which are going to beat Bull Rush, so that I can then use things like 6A, 4A, as you saw there. Tried to go for that gambit with the 2-3-6A, but it doesn't work. But that kind of situation is okay. Here I should have done full crouch 1B. As I said before, he has kind of a propensity of waking up, so I put him in a situation where he would be enticed to do so, which ended up working out. Another jump B, and I keep getting hit by that slow low. So unfortunately, my opponent's Oki, despite the fact that my character's Oki is better, my opponent's Oki is better than mine. Should have done a 3B there off of the just guard. So we're just guarding a lot, but I don't particularly care if he's just guarding me because I'm doing stuff that's safe against Astaroth on just guard. Blocks another 2KB, but he doesn't get a punish. Instead, he gets an A grab and puts me against the ring pressure again, and I'm just too scared. I'm looking for that 1K that he was doing before. So unfortunately, he's able to utilize ring position a lot better than I can. Trying to be safe, but I luck out there, but then the grab comes. And I think that's a ring out, or maybe it isn't. Oh no, it's not. More 1K. There's a jump B. Oh, and he catches me there. He's been doing wake-up moves so often that now I'm just constantly doing meaty attacks, so he's able to roll away. So, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm getting kind of beat up here. My opponent, despite the fact that his character is slower, he's able to utilize ring position a lot better, which hopefully won't be a big deal if I just get better stages, if I get stages that don't have ring-out threats so often. But I can't really mix my opponent up either. And even though he's not getting a lot of damage off of the 2KB punishes, they are kind of adding up. So maybe I need to do something different. To be honest, I'm not actually sure if I did. We'll go to the third match here. But I'm kind of in a bad way, and I remember feeling very frustrated by this point in the set. There's another 2-3-6A, so I do it quite a lot. I don't really care about that kind of punish. I'm ahead in life. I just have to break these grabs, which I'm just not doing. I don't really care about that punish either, and I should have 3B'd there. Like, I'm setting myself up to where, like, he has to do meaty attacks, but then I'm not, like, capitalizing on it, which is a big mistake of mine. I'm forcing him to do things like 4-4A and Bull Rush, but then I'm not actually getting anything out of it. I guess just because I'm stupefied by the idea that he can block my mix-ups to such a degree. There I finally get something. As you can see, grab will be 4B at certain ranges. Alright, now I feel a little bit more comfortable. There we go. I made him second guess pressing buttons enough in that round where his statue blocking finally didn't work. He catches me mashing. Does he wake up and do something? Yeah. 4B probably would have worked there. But I don't end up getting it. So he's just getting momentum on me a lot more than I am for him. I'm kind of playing his game. I just feel like if some of my mix-ups were a little bit better. This is a mistake that a lot of players make, is just guarding BB6 from Astaroth, which doesn't actually get you anything, and sidestepping it is, I believe, a guaranteed punish. This is just something that is a bad habit of mine that a handful of players have a bad habit of doing. And hopefully I can fix it in the meantime, but it's just so ingrained because that just happens to be what I've been doing. And what I'll do in this situation is he wants to just guard after I've just guarded because he thinks that I think I have a guaranteed punish, when we both know that I don't. So I'll do something like a 6A, which is also safe on just guard, and hopefully I can just mash a 2A after that, because again, Astaroth is very slow. It's not what happens in this situation, but I remember in other matches that was the kind of mind game that was going on here. Oh yeah, you saw the 6A there, which I expected he would just guard. That's how you beat the bull. The bull rush was able to beat the situation that I was talking about before. See, like right there, it's the same kind of situation with a standing reset. I think that he wants to grab, but in fact he does a bull rush. I catch him moving about. Astaroth has a difficult time with that because he's so bulky. I decide not to spend the meter here. Now, this is something that some people could disagree with me on. This is a matter of meter management. So I could have CE'd there when I caught the 3B, and that would have solidified the round. Some people want to do that. They want to spend the meter, so, I have this large life advantage, but against Astaroth, that can be, especially one that keeps getting this momentum, that can be something that is, evaporates almost instantly. Just off of one grab, it could be all over. And some people would say, spend the bar so that you get to the next round. But for me, I still feel like I need the meter to scare people about the mix-ups. Without the meter, I don't have anything scary, and so I'm just going to be relying on pokes. And if I'm just relying on pokes, then Astaroth can potentially make some bigger bets, and he won't statue block as often, which I still want him to do. I then go up for a BB. I think he tried to sidestep, or maybe he just went for a duck because he thinks I'm going to do another 2KB. What he could have done about this, he might have been able to Brave Edge Bull Rush, because unlike most players' BB, Mitsu's, the first one will get absorbed and then the second one will just whiff, and so it'll hit me. But he might not have had enough life to absorb it. So it's just something to think about. So I catch what he was trying to do with the jumpy. He thought I was just going to do a small poke, but I decided to take the frame advantage and leave. So he's just building up the guard gauge. Once he gets the guard, it's over. So now I'm in a bad way, so I just take that. I get a really lucky, as you can see, I was not prepared, and I think I caught another jumpy there, which is why I did 3B 3B instead of 3B 2 through 6B, because if it catches a jumping character, sometimes it tends to whiff. But as you can see, I was not prepared for that second 2-2B to whiff when I was on the ground. But I ended up pulling out that game. By no means a convincing game, but a game nonetheless. It seems that with the meter, or at least I assume it was because of the meter, I was able to scare my opponent into doing jump things off of, he just kept thinking that I was going to do 2KB. So we're going on to the fourth match here. Oh, 2-6A would have worked there. Not really sure why he's getting hit by that. I think it's just because of online. And that was not supposed to be, what was that, 1-1A? I don't even know the input for that. Oh, it looks like the video kind of cuts out there. Perhaps he went for like a run-up. I'm going to bet that what he did was try to go for like a run-up grab. which I then ducked and did full crouch 1BB. Like I said, it combos on normal hit against Astaroth. This is what I'm betting. I'm afraid I don't remember exactly what happens. Again, I don't really care that he punishes the 2KB, and I just do it again. This is one of the hardest things about playing Astaroth in this matchup, is that Mitsurugi just has all these tools. The main problem about them is that they're unsafe, but Astaroth can't punish them enough to make me scared. I catch a button as he's coming up, I catch another button, and I'm really just trying to lean on the fact that my opponent has a propensity of 1, ducking, and 2, pressing buttons on wake up. For some reason, there's a lot of players who feel that if they roll back, or if they just, especially rolling back as opposed to rolling to the side, they have enough time to do a wake up attack against Mitsurugi wake up pressure. I'm not really sure where people got this idea, because it's really not true at all. 6-6B is going to beat everything about that. He doesn't really use Brave Edge Bull Rush in that situation, virtually at all. And I've done 2KB enough to where he's scared. This is something that you don't really get out of using 2KB against any other characters, I think. So that was just all me beating him up on his wake up. I'm not really sure why people think that they can press buttons like that. There. So in that round, I decide to change it up a little bit. So I just got a pretty convincing win on my second round, and I end up guessing right at the beginning. And then I decide to spend a little meter. Now here, virtually every other time I've decided to go against my opponent on his wake up. But this time I decide I have the life lead, he has a big meter advantage, and he's right next to the ring edge. Why do I have to take any risks here? Just going up against him, just in general, even though I have a slight advantage because he has to wake up, I just don't really feel the necessity of doing something like that. I think that my opponent is frustrated and he's going to come at me, which I end up being right about. So I just punish his jump in, he tries to hit me with 6B, and then I just let him come to me. Sometimes defense is the best offense, despite the fact that the phrase I think is the opposite. So now we're going to go into the last match that I have here. I think again in this one I try to deal with my opponent's weakness on wake up. I catch him doing that. Again, I don't really care, and it's that situation again, right? That situation of a standing reset. He catches me with Bull Rush. Is he going to do another Bull Rush? That would beat my 4B. Do I think he's going to grab? Then 4B beats that. Do I think he's going to fully charge Bull Rush? Then maybe I should mash. And it's a rock paper scissors situation from there. So I guess right on that one. And again, I think he's pressing buttons on wake up. I think he tried to do a jump B there, and as you can see, I'm starting to notice a pattern about myself where I'm throwing mid after mid after mid, and when they keep catching because he's doing either a duck on wake up or a button on wake up, then if I do it twice or maybe once more, then he's going to be stoic enough to where 2KB, I'll have conditioned him enough to where 2KB will work. I catch him again. I decide not to 4B there. That was the exact same situation. As you can see, he's doing a lot of major twitch ducking, stuff that he was doing in the previous games, but they were working, and now they're just not. More bets that I normally wouldn't take against other characters. There I could have gotten a 3B, I think, but a punish is a punish. I catch him going into a Bull Rush, I think. That's what I'm talking about in terms of the punish for a 4B. Sometimes he even gets the full pop-up. He just catches me with a 2A. There was a lot of situations there where instead of attacking, when I had frame advantage, I was just using it to move away from the stage. So right here, I just try to move around, and he notices that, and he catches me immediately, and hits me with a 2A. I keep getting hit by that in the beginning of a round. So I'm going to have the meter advantage off of the last round. And the thing that I'm thinking about here, I remember it, is that my opponent is really beating me up in terms of beating me in the neutral game, which I didn't expect from Astaroth, and he has a large amount of success with beating my mix-ups. So the thing that I'm thinking about is the one weakness I find that my opponent has is his propensity to wake up with buttons. So I'm thinking, give me one knockdown. If I can just get one knockdown, even a techable knockdown, I'm going to be able to get mileage out of that. So I'm either going to win that way, or I'm going to win by my opponent just losing coin flips and, you know, losing to my mix-ups, because I have a lot of meter now. Doesn't seem like the mix-up thing is going to work. Yeah, this is something, unfortunately, this was a situation that didn't really come up in any of the other matches that I have recorded. But this is something that he was doing a lot. So he whiffs the 4B fully charged, which actually recovers blisteringly quick. And this is something that he had a lot of success with in previous games, where he would immediately just go into Brave Edge Bull Rush. He has the meter, it's the last round, so it's not that big of a risk, and it tends to be hitting me. Unfortunately for him, I end up reading it this time, and I actually get the Just Guard, which honestly I have a lot of problems with. So unlike last time, where I did not spend the meter to finish the round, this time it's the last round, and I decide that, again, at this point I don't really feel like I need the meter. What I want instead is just the wake-up situation, and hinge on my opponent having the propensity of waking up with buttons. That's all I really want. What's he gonna do? And I really luck out in the scramble there. So you have I don't go for the 1B because it's not in range. And I just try to charge in with my opponent. I get the clash. I think that I'm faster. And I think he tried to move there, but, Mitsurugi has wide hitboxes. So like I said, this just happened to be 5 games that I had recorded. I believe he actually won the set, but I believe it was pretty close. You'll have to ask him. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, let me ask you guys why these matches went the way they did. These aren't necessarily in chronological order, but it just seemed to me that sometimes my mix-ups were correct and sometimes they weren't. My opponent had a really impressive ability to defend against Mitsurugi, despite the fact that he doesn't really get a lot of reward out of that kind of thing. You got a lot of jump Bs, you got a lot of statue blocking Mitsurugi, and the one weakness that I found in my opponent was his propensity to wake up with buttons. And I try to ride that as much as possible. So, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time. All right, thanks so much.